Hey guys, ZeroMagnumX here with a segment of Soaring to the Top Black Wings. Alright, first a little bit of business to get out of the way. Um, on the last deck profile, I still think Tengu is good, but this is a more serious deck. Like, Tengu's fun. I gave up on Korogarshi because it's not as good as I'd hoped. It quickly found out that more often than not I have a Synchro out on the field than I do a Black Wing that would be destroyed. And Caius sucks whenever he lands from plants. And if it had been destroyed anyway, he'd be really good, but it's by card effect, and that doesn't happen as often as you would think. And I think it has said it had to be a face-up Blackwing monster, so that sucked more too when looking at it. This is the more competitive build. I'll explain why the deck is like it is, and why it flows like it does. Likewise, I want to say that I'm going to give this one channel a shout out. They follow my requirements, which is really cool. So I guess people are finally watching that video. They have 128 subscribers. They have like 22 consistent videos. So check them out. They're called Team BKT. I'll have an annotation somewhere on here, I'm sure. If I don't have an annotation because it fights me, there will definitely be a link in the description. Go check them out. Go check out the material. They're just getting started back on YouTube, and they're looking for subscribers. And hey, you know, this is a community, and we should all share the love, right? Alright, without further ado, here's the Black Queen deck. 3 Sirocco, 3 Shura, it's typical so far, 3 Bora, 1 K-Loot, which makes me sad he's not at 3, or at least 2, 2 Blizzard, because I don't like 3. People keep telling me 3, and I've always run 2 Blizzard, and it's the right number for me. 1 Gal, 2 Vayu, 1 Kochi. I'm going to try and bump this up to 2 because it gives you instant level 8s with Bora. 1 Fane. This has been in every Blackwing deck I've used since I've started playing Blackwings. I appreciate people's advice and saying don't run it and everything else, but please don't tell me different. Thank you. It's my deck. And Fane OTK is like a champ whenever you can drop him. So that's something to consider. 1 Maestro and 1 Jetstream. The reason behind Maestro and Jetstream is that a lot of Blackwing decks run into the big problem of Whirlwind, whenever it somehow lives through a game, not being able to search anything for anything. Like, let's give an example. You have Whirlwind out, you can summon Vayu, and you have a Chorus attack or something ready, and Vayu can't search. You're stuck. This deck builds in succession that Black Whirlwind is never dead. Aside from, like, searching, unless you end up dropping one of these guys, but should never summon, okay, and should generally always be set unless you drag it with Shura for a Synchro. So, barring these guys, the whole deck searches itself out, and you can drop a Blackwing to search anything, and that's the idea behind it. That'll be the idea with the 2 Kochi, and when I get Xeraphos, to toss him in somewhere. I'm not sure exactly what I would replace. Probably Maestro, because where I like Maestro, I don't know. I'll have to test play and see what happens. And then finally, Gores and Dark Arm Dragon. Okay, spells. Black Whirlwind, with all that talk. Cards for Black Feathers. Allure, because Allure is still good, which I'm glad it hasn't been touched. They still keep it at 1. Book of Moon. Monster Reborn. Dark Hole. Giant Trunade. And 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. That's the spell lineup. And the traps are pretty simple. They're not that exclusive, but they're effective. Okay, 2 Bottomless. 2 Cars. Yeah, I got some bling now. Got myself some gold Cars. 2 Dim Prisons. I only have a playset, so I'd still run 3 in here if you could. That's why this one lone compulsory is in here. Because with Blackwings they work out better for some reason. I think it's because you have a Icarus attack. You leave yourself open, and then they want to swing, and then you're able to use Imprison instead of return the card back to their hand. Mirror Force, Torrential Tribute, and Royal Oppression. The extra deck's pretty simple. I don't need to really show you guys an extra deck for Blackwings, at least I hope not. It has Armed Wing, Armor Master, Silverwind, you know, and then just I mix in the staples like from the gadgets. Like this guy, for example, he can go in Blackwings really well, Utopia, because Utopia is really, really good. He comes out pretty nicely for Blackwings. Like Kochi makes Kochi more viable. Like you drag Kochi with Shora. Let's say you're out of like options to drag with Shora, and then you exceed into him. So he makes it a little bit more worthwhile. And then the other tech I have is this guy. Because if you have Bora in hand and you have like, you know, Maestro, you can synchro him out. And if your opponent is using agents, they're going to cry if this guy hits the field. So, I mean, because you set your cards in your hand, and then it says send all cards in your hand to the graveyard to look at your opponent's hand and send all light monsters in their hand to the graveyard, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the total monster's attacks. So you can discard, like, let's say, Vayu after setting all your cards down, and then going kaboom, discard one Vayu, so then that way you can follow up with like a Sirocco play. Look at their hand, get rid of, you know, Christia, Hyperion, you know, all kinds of stuff, and then it kills them. And then he's got 3,300 at base, so he's a good Blackwing tech. Don't underestimate this guy. He's pretty good, actually, especially with light cards being around again. He also has other effects. If you guys don't know, I'm going to read them. Okay, once per turn, if your opponent controls a face-up light-type monster, you can activate one of these effects. Select one set card your opponent controls and just flat-out destroy it. So if you get him on the field and they have something set that you're worried is nasty, it's dead. It's gone. It's no longer your concern. It's a free destruction. Okay, then you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, destroy all spell and trap your opponent controls. That's really good because, you know, there's another card called Harpy's Feather Duster. I remember way back in the day, whenever everyone ran that at one, and this has the same effect if they have a light monster. And then the big one, which is basically setting up for an OTK. So he's really good. Don't underestimate him. I can't say enough good about him. Oh yeah, and then Dark End Dragon's chilling out here too, so that's pretty neat. Alright, and then I have Blackwing Dragon just because I like Pro, and I think it's okay. Extra deck's kind of crap right now. I don't have much planned for it, so hang tight. Okay, or sorry, side deck, not extra deck. Okay, 2 crows. Plants, the Dark World trio of awesome. They drop World Tribute, that is. Kinetic Soldier, Krebons. I'm pretty sure this is 15. Dark Creator, in case you run into weird games like Stall or whatever. 1 Breaker, because he's not bad in here. And then 3 Wanghu for the mini card matchup. That's just kind of a mixed thing right now. Yeah, it's 14 cards. So that's just mixed right now for the Blackwings because I've been messing around with my side decks to figure out which one's good. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of Soaring to the Top, building the Blackwings. I hope you enjoyed my discussion about Whirlwind and why putting lower Blackwings in the deck can benefit you. Because you always get search, and that thins out your deck, and people don't realize how much of a boost that is. Because if you thin your deck out, you increase your percentage draw on other cards, and you increase your percentage of keeping your hand up, and you're not losing out. It's the same philosophy that the gadgets work on. Blackwings just do it through a continuous spell card. Alright, so that's all, and I hope you guys enjoyed. ZeroMagnumX out. Peace, YouTube. Go check out Team BKT. Later.